Hello, beautiful roomies, and welcome to another episode of the Papa Room Podcast. Hey. So, on today's episode, I'm just going to be sharing my story. We're going to be doing things a little different. So, on my Instagram page at the Gen Z Adult, I, put up a few posts on personal finance, and I put up a story of how I got slammed of I think approximately a 1 month salary. A few years ago, and I was like, okay, you know what? Let me come over here and give you guys the gist on how that happened. So if you're still watching, please subscribe, like, follow, comment, and share. Thank you guys. It was COVID year, I believe. COVID year or the aftermath of COVID. So 2020, 2021, thereabout. And somebody is, would I say, a senior that I respected, right, introduced me to a get rich quick scheme is what I'm calling it now. Anyways, so introduced me to a get rich quick scheme, and was like, oh, if you put your money in here, it will double and all of that. And I was like, okay, right, so let me put my money in here. This was my I think this was like my first major salary and major job role. So I was like, okay, let me put my money in. So I'm going to put my money in, let me make some income, let me just push through. So that's how I put my money in. So the way it runs is it runs in cycles. Now, prior to this, I didn't have any, financial knowledge. I mean, I know that you're supposed to say when you're supposed to budget, but I didn't really know much about personal finance. So I was just like, oh, it's an investment, right? I mean, and if somebody older than me tells me about an investment, then it's something good, right? So I put my money in the first cycle. I think I got like a 20% or 30% increment on it. So I put all that money back in, and then they were like, I think the first cycle, so I saw that the second cycle was to go in, so I put a bit more, and then I put a bit more. I never really collected all the money out, I just kept on putting it in. And by the third cycle, all the money I got in, there was, a news online or maybe a newspaper article or something that published about the whole investment scheme being a scam and maybe the people in charge being arrested or something random and funny like that, right? So I got the news and I was like, how am I going to get my money out and all of that? So I went to this senior colleague who apparently introduced me to it to figure out what was the issue and everything. This is showed me that you get your money out. So I calmed down and I was like, okay, they said I'll get my money out, so I'll just wait for them to dispense all the money out to people. So that's how I was waiting, and I waited and nothing happened. And then by the time I finally realized that, okay, this money has actually really gone as like support law, it has gone there. By the time I finally realized that, I now trying to approach this senior colleague again who introduced me to it. Anyways, she was like, what happened though? It's like the money has gone and everything, and the person was, just gave me this like one-offish, standoffish vibes, like just when somebody just like dismisses you, kind of. And it felt so weird, right? Because I felt hurt, aside losing the money, but also because it was like at the time when this investment opportunity happened, like you were the one that approached me of it. Like if you see the way this particular person was actually following me up on, okay, have you put in money? Have you seen this? Have you done this for today? I think there was about, I think there were like two. There was one that you were supposed to do tasks on, and then there was another one where you're supposed to bring somebody to follow somebody. So like this person was actually monitoring me as at the time when the investment was active. I know that everything has, fallen into shambles. It's not like I was expecting this person to give me my money back, but I was just expecting some form of maybe like sorry, maybe like remorse. I don't know, I was young. I don't know how these things work, but I'm still young. But like I just, it felt weird. It felt odd, right? And I was just like, what kind of vibe is this? Like when you were looking for followers for your community and all this and bring two to get another two, you were following me up and following me and all of that. And then now that everything has burst, I mean, even if it's that we come together and console ourselves on the money that was lost, instead of this one-off-ish vibes. So I think that is one of the major scams or Ponzi schemes that I had as a young adult. There are a number of, if you've never been scammed before, wow, I envy you. I want to be like you in the future. But for some of us who are in this group chat, It just opened my eyes to, first of all, human behavior, and at the same time also opened my eyes to realize that I needed to get more knowledge about investments, about personal finance, and all of that. So I started to read up, started to get more knowledge on personal finance and what investments are about, and it now put me in perspective. So right now, at least, I'm a bit better. I'm actually a lot better, not just a bit, because I've added courses, I've gone to trainings, paid for, to actually understand money. Because the truth about it is, especially for us as young adults, money is like the means by which we use to enjoy our lives. Like, money is very important. So if we make the money quite on early, and we're balling and everything, and we don't know how to utilize these funds, maybe in our 50s, 60s, we have nothing to show for it. So I wanted to get the right kind of knowledge about investments, about money, about personal finance. And I encourage every young adult to please get, just get knowledge. I actually put some posts on my Instagram channel, rather, about some books that I read that helped me. So what I'm just going to say, one of the best ways, actually there are a number of ways to avoid Ponzi schemes, but one of the best ways to avoid Ponzi schemes is to, first of all, don't be greedy. I admit that this move was actually sponsored by greed. Like, if I was contented with what I had, maybe it wouldn't have happened. And it's good to actually desire good things, and it's good to actually desire more. But when you notice a pattern of greed and wanting to get, a lot of the times, these are the things that these investments or Ponzi schemes actually use to grab people into them. Another thing is to also make sure that whatever you're putting your money in is secured. So secured, what I mean is, there are government bodies or government councils that are, approving this particular investment scheme. There are policies around this investment scheme. Like, I mean, even if there are policies, right, and even if there are governments, it doesn't mean that it will not still flow. I mean, in the case of cryptos and all of that happened in the past, but at least you are sure that, hey, this thing is something that is backed by maybe a Security Exchange Commission, maybe there's a lawyer who's approving it, maybe there's a governing body or council. So even if you're going to cut losses, it wouldn't be total outright. Like, you'd still have a little things. Although in some cases, like here in this country where we live in, there are still so many loopholes regarding investments, especially things like Bitcoin, crypto, and all of that. So those are really high risk investments, and those can actually burn you. But at least let it be that there was even some groundwork in the sense that you ensure that somebody was in charge of it. The next thing is that you should understand whatever it is that you're putting your money into. So don't just invest because your friend is investing. So there's some people going to the stock market because their friend is in the stock market. Stock market is good though, very, very good, like stock market right now. But if you don't understand it, you first of all will be at a loss in terms of information and understanding how to use your money and invest it wisely and know when to cut your losses. And at the same time, you would also be at a loss because you don't really know what you're doing. You're just putting your money because other people are putting their money. So whatever investment that you're going to put your money in, have a full understanding of what it is you are putting your money. Like, what am I doing? What is this investment opportunity about? If it is real estate, what is it about? A number of people who put their money in real estate. I remember even some real estate ventures, that they're going, come and put your money. If you buy this, then you get this. Some number of people put their money in real estate investments, and the money just went zilch, right? Even some of them who I know put money in all these ones where they accumulate over the years. Some of them never got their allocation. So, well, investment is a very risky thing, right? And you have to understand again that to make money, sometimes you have to lose money, but at least have an understanding of what you're putting your money into and secure all your exits. Like, make sure that you're covering your loopholes and your tracks with lawyers and contracts and all of that as much as you can, and understand very well what it is you're putting your money into, so that when the money goes, you won't cry in hunger like I did, because when I was like, hey, hunger, and it was the height of COVID, so you can imagine, like, so that people were sharing money for free. I mean, they were doing some palliatives and all, but how many of them really got to us? So hunger. So make sure that whatever thing that you're investing in, you have a full understanding of it. Then finally, what I'd like to say is, well, maybe not finally, penultimately, what I'd like to say is, don't use money for your living expenses to invest. So save up a particular percentage of your income and then use that percentage to invest. So after you spend your money on house rent, feeding, all of that, if you have a little something left over, use to invest. It's usually best to invest what we call disposable income. That is money that if it goes, that is, if you lose the money, it won't shake you too much. It will hurt because it's money. You worked hard for it, but you understand? It won't shake you too much. It's not like Sapa will catch you because you put your money in investments and all of that. So it's usually best to use your disposable income for investments. And the final thing I'm going to say is to get a financial advisor, instructor, mentor, just whether a group or community or a person or a platform. There's so many out there right now that would actually be able to teach you about personal finance, about investing, so that you avoid things like Ponzi scheme and you're actually able to note the telltale signs, right? And you avoid them completely. Right, guys, that's it for today. Thank you for joining in with me. Please subscribe, share, like, comment. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you, guys. Bye. See you on the next one.